35 straight, yeah, 35.
We're good. Huh?
Oh, did you hear from Gary yet?
Nope.
I haven't heard from him either, I'm thinking
Usually he'll call.
it. Want me to call him?
Excuse me.
Okay.
Do you use these pencils? I love those, and I had ordered some new ones, and they're identical, but they are so soft compared to the others.
I don't like those because
No?
the lead doesn't last long enough.
Oh.
We'd probably be done by the time you got here, you forgot.
You forgot?
Yeah.
Just move the gavel. There you go.
Are we on?
Yep.
Welcome to the Caribou Utilities District August meeting. First item on the agenda, approved minutes from the July monthly meeting.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Approved budget and financial reports for July of '23. Any questions on the budget?
I got some questions. There's quite a few that are over.
True, there are, but look at the bottom line is what I,
Okay, all right,
Yes.
then I'm not gonna bother.
no,
Okay,
because
no.
I know exactly, what they are, and I have itemized figures.
Okay.
But the bottom line is 45%, and I think we're all
I
set.
looked at that too, so.
Okay?
All right, yep, thank you.
That's on wastewater, and the same on the water, but the water doesn't have any that have gone over. They're doing pretty well. Any
Okay.
further questions?
Move to accept.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Passed. General Manager's Report.
Okay. So I've got that in front of you. Water projects, the high service area booster pump station upgrade project, work on site is scheduled to start this month on Monday, August 28th at the South Main Low Service Tank on Summit Street. The tank painting project, Dirigo spoke with one of the painting contractors in July, and they have a window in their schedule later this year and requested we put the project out to bid. Dirigo put the project out to bid last week with bids due on the 24th of August with the following stipulation. The project has an expected duration of 120 days. A winter shutdown and suspension and contract time will be allowed by the owner If work begins in 2023 and needs to be completed in 2024, but if a tank is started, that tank needs to be completed and back in service before another shutdown will be authorized. If the most qualified tank painting bidder does begin the work this year, we will coordinate their work with Apex, the booster pump station contractor. New river crossing project, Deergo has submitted the NRPA and Army Corps permit applications for approval. This will take 6 to 8 months for approval to be processed, as the Army Corps and DEP are extremely busy with applications. We will submit this project to the Drinking Water SRF program in the fall of 2023 for 2024 funding. Primary screen and headworks. The Rollingsford Water and Sewer District in New Hampshire sold their wash press assembly for $5,000 with an option to purchase their remaining Huber step screen for $45,000 within 2 years. Earlier this year, Huber quoted $48,000 for a new replacement wash press assembly only, which was not a direct replacement for the model we have. This means we would incur additional costs, making the new wash press compatible with the existing step screen with no guarantee of performance. Rollingsford's wash press will allow our primary screen to go back to operating as designed, as it has since the early 2000s, and with the purchase of their step screen, we will have parts in the future that will not cost arms and legs in magnitude. A new primary screen needs to be included in the next wastewater project, which will allow the current Huber step screen to operate as a backup. The water tank painting project, we covered that above. Discuss RFP annual audit. So we solicited proposals for this annual service on a 5-year term from 5 other auditors. And Chester M. Kearney, our current auditor, was the only one to respond. So they provided a price of $12,500 for this year and next year, escalating $250 for the next 2 years, and then another $250 for the 5th year. Felch here in Caribou declined because they're not taking new clients. The 2 downstate didn't respond, and Cariff and Partners, who was local, we found them on the Chamber of Commerce website. They only provide audit prep. They don't do full-blown audits. And other issues are North Main High Service tank lease with Verizon. We're still waiting on their approval for the site. The wood cutting on the River Road is ongoing. And then Sue has some discharge of sewer liens that need to be signed. Any questions?
I had a couple.
Sure.
Water tank painting project. What stipulates a winter shutdown? Is it temperature? Is there a date or?
So that was one of the questions I had. So the spec that they put in the contract says that there has to be a certain temperature and humidity. So if it gets too cold and or is too damp, specifically for the inside of the tanks, they can't paint. So you get to a point in time in the season, and they say it's like, I think sometime in November, where it just gets too cold. They can't paint. So that being said, we're having Apex start on the South Main tank, and if we find out here in the next couple of weeks that the tank painting contractor that we choose wants to start this fall, we may have Apex go to this tank on the North Main side, because we're not painting that one. And the South Main one, where we have Apex starting now, we're painting the in and the outside of it. So we may switch Apex.
Are they will they accommodate
Yeah,
that?
I mean, we're doing
6
the
of one,
exact-
half dozen of the other.
Yeah, we're doing the
Right.
same work at both.
Oh, okay.
So.
I should know this, and you've mentioned, how long does it take to actually paint a tank?
I think he said like 30 days.
30?
It's out of service, I think. So,
Probably depends on what size brush they use.
One other quick question on the river crossing project.
Mm.
Do we need to hold a public hearing at some point in time on the permit applications?
I don't think so, because I think if we did, we would have done it by now.
Okay,
He had to send a letter to all the abutting landowners.
okay,
You know, there was stuff like that, but
thank you.
I've got all the dates for the remaining meetings at the bottom for everyone's planning purposes.
When do you start budget for the next year?
I typically started it in December, but we talked about having it done at the end of December, so I'll probably start it in November.
Okay. Do you need any motions on the audits?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Is it- Did their contracts, did their contract run out at the termination of the last audit? And that's why we went out to bid?
I was asked to go out. Gary wanted me to go out for bid
Yeah, right.
regardless.
But I mean,
They didn't have a contract.
No, they
just did it year to year?
They-
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Right, and when I talked with him, he said they are not taking any new clients as well.
Yeah.
But he said we have been going there ever since I've been working.
Okay.
They would not turn us down.
How much was the cost this year?
It was 10,000. But if we should have a single audit with any funding with rural development, that's an additional 4,500. But we didn't have that this year, although we did last year.
And that typically is charged to the project, so that gets wrapped up in the financing. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, move to accept Chester and Kearney for 3 years, right?
5.
5.
5, excuse me.
Yep.
Second, I did have a question though, if it's okay to ask.
Yep.
So they had an annual contract.
It was just year to year.
We had one, we had several that were 5 years, and then a year ago, the 5-year term expired, and they did it this last year, and then Gary suggested that we go out for audit.
Yep. My question was, what was the cost increase, I guess, on an annual basis, if there was one? I know it's 250 going forward, but was it that way?
It's 2,500, right?
What's that, going forward, would be the increase, but prior, it's been 10,000, except for if we should have a single audit, and then that would be an additional 4,500, but they kept it at the 10,000.
For several years or whatever it
Yes,
was?
several years.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
it's been 10 grand for quite a while.
Yeah, it has.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Move to adjourn?
No, I have a question.
excuse me.
How many employees do we have? I mean, I'm on the board, and I don't know, so I should know that.
11, I think?
Yeah, 11 right now.
Total, I mean, the whole operation is about 11?
Yeah, and that doesn't include the 2 summer
We have
help.
2 summer employees that'll be leaving the end of this month.
So full-time, you're 11 people?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor? Adjourned at 6:13.
I do have a couple of documents, though, that Dave and Phil will have to sign, please. Dave is treasurer and, oh, I'm sorry. My mouth is dry.
No, you're fine.
Phil, Dave and Phil. Yeah, you can sign the proposal. I just wanted to make sure. Everyone will love me because still have bank documents, because for the third CD, I took out for $195,000 with TD at 5.5%. They still needed to have the signature cards again, although we did them for all the others, but they still needed